Good evening. Welcome to WFUZ-TV, the People's Voice podcast. We are here in the studio with Tater Harris. I'm Blair Castro. This is Thomas Jenkins. And episode 2.0 with Tater. He's back for more. We have him coming in since we have special runoff episodes right now. He is in a runoff for the District 4 Commission seat, and we're happy to have you back in studio.
Hey, thank you, Blair. Thank you, Thomas. Glad to be here.
So we'll start by asking everybody, the runoff is Tuesday, so whenever you're watching this, it will only be a few days away. We have less than a week left to go from when we're filming this. It is right around the corner. Why do you think voter turnout in the primary was so low, and what are some things we can do? I know we don't have a lot of time, but what are some things we can do to encourage people to care and make a difference and remind them how important this vote is on Tuesday?
And you can do your voter outreach, text your friends, you can do, Facebook posts, all the things. But people have to want to get out and get engaged. I mean, we had the same voter turnout in 2026, essentially, as we did in 22. And we're having, 20 people a day moving here over the last 4 years, and we're getting the same voter turnout. We've got to do better. We've got to engage, I think, throughout the years and not just during election season. We need to talk about this in 2027 and 2028 and 2029. Not just in election season. I think that'll help. I think some things that have been done. We've got 65 or 63 polling precincts now, and so that makes it where there's not as long the lines. It's easier to get to. A little tougher on the candidates to get to 63 polling places, but it's also better for the public and reduces waits because nobody wants to pull up and see a 30-minute wait and they turn around and then you lose a voter that was going to vote otherwise. So I think some good things have been done, but those are a couple of my observations.
What do you attribute that low turnout to? Do you think it's more fatigue, or do you think it's the fact that so many people are moving in all the time and they just aren't acclimating to the area and getting registered to vote?
I don't know. It could be twofold. There's a lot of reasons. I mean, I feel like years ago you got to know your neighbors more. You got to talk more. People maybe been more involved with their churches and, a lot more interactions, human interactions instead of just social media interactions.
Yeah.
And I believe, over time that could have led to some of the decrease in voter turnout.
Yeah, I think I blame COVID for that divide too. People don't want to go out and do things anymore. Everything's delivery. Walmart's not 24 hours anymore. Everything's just stay at home.
Yeah, and another thing you got to remember, we're becoming a little bit younger generation as the baby boomer generation is starting to age. They tend to vote more than the younger generation.
Yes.
And as that generation, due to age and time, becomes younger, we may see that trend continue, unfortunately.
So one of the things going on, I want people to realize, is that the commission seats, we're already for sure getting 2 new commissioners, and we're getting 1 returning commissioner. So this will be the 3rd new commissioner, and it's either going to be you or Brett Garr. So what do you think a new commissioner, be it you or him, but that's a pretty big task, having a commission with 3 new people in it. What are some things the commission, as majority newbies, will kind of have to do in the future as they begin to work together?
Well, we got to learn to work well with each other. I mean, you got to figure each other out. There's 3 new commissioners. If you've got existing commissioners, they've been working together with each other for 4 years. So we've got to get in rooms. We've got to spend time together. We've got to learn each other and work together. I mean, at the end of the day, you still got to vote on your core beliefs and the issues that you see at hand. But there's a lot of things you've got to build some camaraderie and build some relationships and bring the relationships you have to the other parties and other parties to you. That way we can all work together as a county and move our county forward.
So I've heard you say before that is one of your strengths, that you have these relationships with different municipalities, with different people throughout the community. What are some things you can do to help strengthen the relationships between the commission, between each member of the commission, and then between the commission with other entities?
I think some of the things we could do, as a commission is, basically host our own meetings with the municipalities. And legislators. There's some legislators that kind of hold a breakfast. There's some that do town halls and everything. But we need to get together as our commission, our base, and get together with these different entities. And that way we can kind of share our ideas, our goals, what we kind of see some path forwards. First, we've got to get aligned as a commission, and then we can reach out to the others and kind of say, this is what we were wanting to do, or programs we're wanting to enhance, or what do y'all see as a municipality that we could do better as a commission to help you? What can we do better to move the county forward? So I believe we got to just get together, get in rooms and talk. I mean, just sitting around thinking it's going to happen. It's not. We got to put boots on the ground and get together.
What's your biggest goal, and what future do you envision for Baldwin County?
Well, one of the biggest goals I'd like to see is I'd like to see our eastern western corridors improved. I said that throughout the campaign. I would like to see County Road 32, or I believe they're working on US 31 coming out of Stapleton and Spanish Fort. And then we also got to look at Lillian and 98 kind of going into Alberta and coming out of Florida through Lillian into Alberta. I understand the downtown Alberta, they may not want to, jeopardize that character, but there needs to be some traffic flow improvements in these areas. I know that's a state road, but we can do a lot more matching funds. Instead of 80-20 split, we could do maybe 60-40. We'd have to look at the project cost and budgets, of course, but those are some of the biggest things I would like to see accomplished during this first term.
And where do you see Baldwin County going in the course of your term if you get elected?
Well, we're growing. We're scheduled to double in size in the next 25 years. And so we have to take and plan for the next 25 years, the next 50 years. We don't need to be as reactive. We got to let people know what they can do when they're coming here. And so we're going to have to work with our legislators to get a little bit more tools in our toolbox, or the legislators going to have to work with us. So we've got to create kind of a comprehensive plan long-term going forward. There will be some growth coming here based on the numbers that the MPO has presented, and that's 250,000 people moving here over the next 25 years.
I was watching the forum that you were a part of last night, and one of the questions, I thought was a pretty good question. What is the thing or the couple of things that you think really distinguish you from your opponent? And we asked that at our forum too, but I think it's always good to sort of tell voters the boilerplate of what do you have up? What's the leg up that you have? What is the thing that makes you distinguishable?
Well, currently in the primary on May 19th, I had 47.42% of the vote versus roughly 28% of the vote for my opponent. So I have a 20-point leg up heading into this runoff. I would say that's one of the biggest differences between the two of us now. Another difference would be I entered the race a year ahead of him. So I've been campaigning for a year and a half at this point, essentially, versus 6 months for him. So, I've spent a lot of time and effort. I've got more time, effort, and energy involved in this race than my opponent.
So a year and a half campaigning is a very long time. I've done only one race that long. That was a sheriff's race, and it was campaigning for 2 years. It was very long. So I know the length of that. Throughout that year and a half up until now, what was your favorite part of it, and what was kind of the hardest part of it?
My favorite part was coming on WFUZ-TV.
Good answer. Good answer.
That's been my favorite part, Blair. But in all seriousness, and getting to meet people and getting to know people and learning people throughout the county and learning about different parts of the county that you don't always go to is when you live somewhere and then you run for office, you start learning about a lot of things. People bring you that you didn't know they have a problem here or there, and you're learning. So I love to learn. And so my favorite part of the campaign is just being able to learn from others.
What about the hardest part?
The hardest part, to me, it's easy. It's just showing up, listening, being accountable, listening to the people. It's not hard to me to do that. It's easy for me to do that. A lot of people consider it. It's just a lot of time. You got time away from your family. You got time you're spending. You're at events till 8 or 9 o'clock. That may be an hour and a half away, and you're getting home late at night, and then you're leaving the next morning early to go to, First Friday Forum. It's at 7 o'clock here in Orange Beach Gulf Shores, and you may be in Stockton till 8:30, 9 o'clock the night before. Or, we had a forum in Tensall one night, and I can't remember if there was what there was the next morning was something early the next morning. But I will say the hardest part has been campaign night, the night before the election, May 19th. I mean, I was up 41 to 43 hours.
Oof.
So that is a pretty tough 2 day stretch right there.
Well, you definitely done a good job at getting out to all the events for the past, over a year. And even on election day, I saw you at the polls. Like, it is hard to be at all those precincts. And I think people don't realize we had, Christina McGinnis on here on her anniversary. And we had Angelo Fermo on here, and he said the same thing about it's really hard on the families. When I ran for office, it was really hard on our family. It was really hard because of all the time and effort and how it opens you up. And it's definitely something that I admire anyone who takes the chance and willingness to go do it. I know it's not easy. So, I mean, thank you for putting yourself out there. And I hope that in the, the coming days, it kind of dies down. You get to spend a little bit more time. You're almost through the finish line here.
Yeah, we're looking forward, me and my wife, we're looking forward to getting through this here next week and then, laying on the beach and, just enjoying each other's company and enjoying a lot of the sights and sounds that the tours get to enjoy that we don't always take part in. And we live in such a wonderful place. And I believe we all probably take it for granted a little bit sometimes, with lives and our work and other things that we have going on. So I hope to be able to just kind of step back, take a breath and enjoy some of that.
So I think that the one thing that I've heard pretty much every candidate say as far as problems that constituents come to them with is infrastructure and traffic. Are there any niche problems that you've had brought to your attention on the campaign trail?
I mean, I've had people ask about speed bumps and speeding in neighborhoods. There's been drainage, in different places that people talk to me about. We've had, with what happened in the Bay, with runoff in the Bay. I mean, we've got water quality. I mean, water quality is a big one, I would say. We got to fiercely protect our economy. But, it's mostly, and there's funding, different municipalities have different needs when I talk to them. But most of those needs are infrastructure needs or working together needs. And, so you see a lot of, hey, this is working together, and sometimes it's with the state, and sometimes there's things that are out of the county and the city's control. But we have to be good stewards and try to work with the state and build some relationships. Maybe that state doesn't require people to do. Maybe the county steps involved. You build a new school, and then they're not required held to the same standards as me or you would be building a building that brings in that much traffic because they have a little bit more state control. So, but maybe we can step in and say, hey, we're going to put a turning lane in here. Instead of waiting until after construction, the traffic's there, and then doing something. Let's do something on the front side instead of after the fact.
I also think it's good to have public education around reroutes and when roads are being worked on and stuff, because a lot of times people don't even know it's happening and they just take their typical route. And then there's been no real notice, maybe a Facebook post, from whatever entity is doing it. But people aren't really like checking the Facebook or like the county Facebook that much. So then they're really thrown off when their route is totally like, a whole different way, and it gets really confusing. It happened to me today. So, that's something as a suggestion. I'd like to see more communication about when these changes are being implemented, how long they're going to last, and a better like public awareness of the different traffic and construction projects.
Yeah, we could do something. I say we could. Facebook groups are pretty popular. What's happening in, Alberta, what's happening in Spanish Fort, Fairhope Now, those kind of groups. And a lot of people are getting their message in there instead of just going to the Baldwin County Commission Facebook page and published or EMA. I think we need to maybe take a look at, hey, what's the 10, 15, 20 largest groups in the county in different areas, right? You got to get to different regions, north, south, east, and west, and then make sure that we get that message, not just on our page, but distributed to all those groups. It might be a little bit better. I'm not saying it would, but the paper these days, I mean, it's
maybe a text messaging system even through SMS. Argue in the comments below. What do you think?
Text messaging can be a little more expensive. On major stuff, I could see it, but on little run of the mill stuff, it would be a little tougher. Same with mailers, but we've got media now. Maybe we get Like we get WFUZ-TV to share the page.
That's really expensive.
Yeah.
Man, we can get y'all to help us out. Then.
Yeah. We can just come up like we're like Debbie Williams style and be like, "Did you know this road's about to be closed?" Update everyone accordingly.
Shout out to WKRG.
Yes.
It seemed like you got some traffic signs moved. I seem to remember during the
Yeah.
election
And some
cycle
cones. That was one of our first
Yes.
instruments.
If you ditch, they will come.
Wow. One thing that I would also like to see going forward with the county, and I think I mentioned this before, but like speaking of text messaging and things like that, technology and portals and communication tactics. And I know there's been improvements. I mean, they did come up with the little baldy eagle that like will answer stuff, which was really cool. And I appreciated that happening. But more stuff like that, I think, we don't want to lean too far into the AI or anything, but some stuff with technology in the future is, worth considering if it streamlines our process. Like we were looking online, it was a Secretary of State site for some stuff, and it was really hard to navigate too. And I'm just an ease website person. I like to have simplicity. I like to like do my forms online and be done with it. And anything you got to print and drive up and do is just very frustrating.
Agreed, 100%. I don't like to use paper. I like to use things on my phone or my computer if I can. I was at the DMV earlier today and I had to provide a document and I had a QR code to scan. You can upload the document. Now you'll have to go in and email. So I was like, oh, that's new, but that's a good use of technology that the county's implemented or DMV's implemented. We've got to do more of that and got to do it throughout the county. I mean, get broader with it so we can make citizens' lives easier. I'm fairly tech savvy myself, but if somebody has trouble finding something with the county or something, and my job as commissioner is to get that information to them. If it's information we've got access to, let's get it and get it to citizens. If they want it, let's find a way to get it to them. And if it's difficult, okay, now let's find a way to make it easier. So I agree with you.
I do wish we could have a satellite courthouse down here on the island. I think that would cut down on traffic going off to Robertsdale and Foley and wherever the other one is. But that's just me.
I understand. I'd have to look in that. I don't know the judicial, what the ramifications and how close they got to be. I don't know if there's mileage limits that they have to be within of the main courthouse and Bayonet. Seemed like I remember hearing that somewhere at some point in time. But, we're getting busy on the island. We're getting a lot of people here between Ono, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach.
Just throw it in Margaritaville.
When Tony Kennan came on our show, he said he would be open to putting an annex in Orange Beach. So rewind to that interview. He did say it. So it would be cool if one day that happened. I mean, look at right now with the consolidation of the UPS store and how overflowed like the one UPS store is in Gulf Shores. Like to be able to do basic things like notarize documents, like that's now the UPS store in Gulf Shores is like one of the only places around here where we can do it, and it's just so packed. So I do think eventually that will be happening, especially because you said we're going to double in 25 years. So that's one of the plan for the future things, I think.
Yes, yeah. Well, we've got a lot. I mean, we're growing as a county. Where do those 250,000 people move to?
Close to the beach as possible.
To the water. I mean, people tend to gravitate towards the water, and whether that's Fairhope, Daphne, or Point Clear, or up this way to the beaches. I mean, or out toward Lillian. I mean, there's a lot of people coming. I mean, we're a great place to live.
Yeah.
I get why people want to be here.
For sure.
That's why I'm here. It's a good place.
So speaking of people moving here, one of the things that we're going to see an influx of, as much as people, are not happy with it, we are seeing it right now is people are struggling to afford stuff, especially in these kind of upper tier more expensive areas. Yes. So there is going to be, I think we're entering an era, and the writing's on the wall, where homelessness is going to be more prevalent, where mental health and addiction issues are becoming front and center. And we're fortunate we haven't had as much as other areas in those those issues aren't as to the surface like they would be in Pensacola or Escambia County, Florida, but I think they are happening here. So as a commissioner, I know Commissioners Ball and Underwood sort of had a passion project for mental health. What are some things that you think a commission could do to kind of curb some of those, foreseeable possible issues?
Well, we've got some great programs here in the state or in the county. Like you got the Sea Glass Initiative, and they've done some great things. Like if you go to them and you're looking to, and say, get a bus ticket from here to Maine, they will help you get there. And they help homeless people get to where they're going. I believe we need to look at ways, if we're able, to maybe help them with those programs, or if we can't help them, at least make them more known about. Get the messaging out there, get the messaging to our officers and our deputies, and so that way these people can go and get some more help than they currently have resources for. So I believe that that would be where we need to kind of focus some of our efforts at. We've got to work with the other municipalities, other states, whatever. I mean, homeless people kind of transition. We're close here, we're close there. So, we got to we got to take care of our people, but we also got to help the people in need, because everybody's not as fortunate as others, and people are down on their luck, and we got to be able to, you know, create bustling economies, gig economies. I mean, we've got a lot of different things that we can offer. I know we got a lot of seasonal work down here. We're busy with the 9 million visitors a year we get, especially right now, peak season. So work's a little easier to find. But, we stabilize our economy with some more year-round labor on down this way. I believe that could kind of help too. So,
Sure.
yeah.
So overall, what do you think your policy is on development? And I'll give you some example options. So some people are very much like no development whatsoever. Some people are slow the development. Some people are balance the growth and the development. Some people are pro development. Like, where do you think you kind of fall on the spectrum, and how would you describe your development ideals?
Well, I mean, you have private property rights, right? So if you're zoned for something and you can build something on your land and it doesn't impact other people, and it's not creating a safety issue or an environmental issue, I mean, there's no reason you can't go build your house on your lot of land that you own. As long as you're zoned for it and you meet the requirements. I don't believe we need to harm our water or our quality. That protects our economy and protects our property values, your property, my property. So we have to fiercely protect our waterways to protect our economy here, because our economy is predicated off the water that we have here, whether that's through home ownership, vacation rentals, the visitors and tourists that we get here from the bays to the Gulf. So from that standpoint, you've got to be careful, and you also can't be reactive. We need to be proactive and plan ahead. So when people want to invest here in our county, they know what they can do when they do invest here, and not find out after the fact. But we also have to protect our own and protect Baldwin County and do what's right for Baldwin County.
And something also to throw out there is that scent also affects property values. So if you happen to live near a landfill or wastewater treatment plant or some sort of area that does not smell that good, that can also affect your quality of life. I think people want to live in a good smelling, operational, beautiful place. And I hope that in the future, wherever developments are made, they think about how it affects all of your senses.
The canal stinks. Fix the canal.
Aside from development, and what specifically about your experience do you think you would like to highlight in terms of why you are the best person for this job?
One, I've led large teams of people. I know how to work with people, how to work together, build teams. I mean, leading, outages and leading projects where you got 1,000, 2,000 people on them. I mean, it takes a lot of work, and I have the energy, the time, the effort to put into that to make sure we're successful. I'll work hard. I listen to the people. That's one thing I love to do, is listen, learn, and we get smarter together. So we have to work together. And I think bringing some of those skills to the table that I've had throughout my 23 years in industry, working with others, is something I can bring to the table. I'm relatable. I'm a hardworking guy who come from the field, who come straight out of high school, going to work in a paper mill, and have built a successful business. Me and my wife built a successful business. We've got 10, 12 employees currently. And, that's tough to do, to build a business. And so we've learned how to run businesses. We've learned how to work with others. We've learned how to stand up for ourselves. And we've learned how to, speak on our behalf when we need to, but we also know how to work with others when we need to. So I think those are some of my key highlights of experiences.
Do you have anything else you'd like people to know before they go vote on Tuesday?
Vote Tater, June 16th. Find out more about me at taterharris.com. You can also reach me on Facebook, John Tater Harris or Tater Harris. If you want to talk with me, love to talk to you. My cell phone number's on there. Just reach out. Got any questions? But if you don't remember anything else, get out and vote. And the second thing to remember is vote John Tater Harris.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Blair. Thank you, Tommy.
Yes, sir.